Mm-hmm.
This episode is presented ad-free at our Patreon, patreon.com/NOTLP. There's a lot of other good stuff there, but we just want to say enjoy. Technology. We figured it out, guys.
It's great when it works.
we just recently switched from using Zoom for remote calls to using FaceTime. And the first time we used it, we got lucky and everything went fine. And then today we had a bunch of technical difficulties. But the reason we're using it is because Jason Fozzie Nelson is joining us from Florida.
Horror author Jason Fozzie Nelson?
Oh, yeah.
Horror
the
author.
one and only.
So
Florida's own.
Thanks for
right.
Have you checked that there's other Jason Fozzie Nelsons?
Not the comptroller Jason Fozzie Nelson? That's his whole last name, though, Fozzie Nelson.
There is a Jason Nelson. He's like a Republican asshole in like Arizona.
And he goes by Gonzo.
Yeah. Fuck that guy. Don't even know what he is.
Loser.
But Fozzie, you're here because you have a new book out, right? New novel.
Yeah, I asked you guys if I could come on and promote the book, and you're like, yeah.
I was like, that sounds like a great idea.
Yeah. So I've been working on it for a while. I actually started it when I was living with Kelley.
Yeah.
I started working. I was writing nonstop and bouncing ideas off Kelley all the time.
He worked constantly.
Yeah, that's why I just don't have that job anymore either. That's all I was doing all day. They paid me to write a book, basically.
You should tell them.
I should. I finally finished it, got it published, self-published. It's on Amazon. It's called Always By My Side. It's a gothic horror thriller mystery.
I'm sorry.
It's a lot of adjectives.
Yeah.
Well, the more tags you have, the better.
Get them hashtags in, baby.
Well, those genre tags are fine, but what keywords would be in the description?
Demons, creepy little girl,
Yes.
mystery, school murder, child murder.
Trigger warning.
Yeah.
You might get a demographic that you don't necessarily want.
But like fun child murder, right?
Yeah.
The good kind.
So,
it features some really incredible cover art by some
Mr.
guy.
Kelley.
It's not bad.
By
it's
Kelley.
Okay.
It's absolutely beautiful. It's just what I wanted. The style I wanted, the colors, you nailed it.
Well, thank
so
you.
happy.
I'm very glad that you dig it.
I love seeing pictures of people posing with the book that
Me
Fozzie's
too.
been sharing. It's cool.
Well,
Half-naked boys.
let's not beat around the bush, Fozzie. Tell us what this book is about.
I mean, so the original, the premise is there is a web detective, very much based on myself, because that was my first book and I didn't know any other way to write. And I finally figured that out. But basically, it's a web detective who teams up with another web sleuth, and they start investigating a cold case that happened in 1997, where a young girl, Amy Sinclair, her family was murdered in their home, and Amy was the only one left alive. Well, then Amy was sent to live at a Catholic school, and 6 months later, a very similar incident happened, and Amy disappeared without a trace. So the two web sleuths started investigating this cold case and interviewing everybody who had any connection to it. So that's the launching pad, and then it goes places from there.
Awesome.
It's my life story.
I love it.
Yeah.
You were murdered in your house?
Maybe.
So
I
The whole
disappeared.
family was.
Well, like, trigger warning, how graphic do you get? I mean, like, some people might not want to go
That's
into,
fair.
like, graphic descriptions of child death.
I don't know if
There is,
our Stephen King reading audience is probably pretty
Yeah.
okay with it.
There is one decapitation. There is degloving.
Ooh,
There is eviscerations.
got
galore.
fancy with it.
Punctured lung.
D-gloving, G-loving.
G-Love and special
when
sauce.
I was Googling so much because I was writing like the graphic scenes, and I was just like, wait, what does happen when you puncture a lung? And I was like Googling that. I was like, God, I hope nobody gets my computer and sees the weird shit. Or nobody like that I know dies mysteriously.
Yeah.
Well,
And I was
also,
like, wait, let me explain.
that's always the excuse, is that it was a research project or they're writing a novel.
Pete Townsend.
Yeah.
That's what they always say.
Carly Russell. What was she looking up?
The movie Taken.
So we've been doing this theme of monkey paws, and Fozzie chose this week's monkey paw, where family wishes to have their missing daughter back, or a father does, I guess. But he ends up with more than he bargained for.
Right?
In the classic.
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Orphan First Kill.
I love that movie.
And Amy is going
I loved
to...
it too.
Amy's going to review Run Rabbit Run, which has got some striking similarities with Orphan First Kill.
A bit.
Oh.
What a child murder show today.
It's a child murder night.
It's all about child murder, y'all. It really is.
Technically dwarf murder.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be real cheery, and and then Pee Wee Herman died.
Yeah.
I mean, Paul Rubens.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, R.I.P. That was real sad. That was getting me choked up all day, kind of looking at
I
everybody's
didn't
memories.
realize how much of an impact he had on my life until he was gone. It's like he was my Joni Mitchell, like a big yellow taxi.
Yeah.
You know, you don't know you got till it's gone.
You paved Pee Wee Herman, put up a parking lot.
No, literally, I think I watched that movie almost every single day. Pee Wee's Big Adventure, like every single day when I was a kid.
Oh yeah,
it's one of the great movies, and I like everything Pee Wee did, and it was really heartbreaking to hear he passed away today. Because was he at Horror? I can't remember. Did he make Horror Hound or not?
I remember his bike was there.
I remember that, but I know at one point he was at least supposed to be there, but I can't remember.
Maybe that was the Horror Hound he was supposed to be at. He was supposed to be doing the photo op with the bike.
Yeah, it might be.
Maybe.
I don't know for sure. Anyways, I never got to meet him. So like he was one of the few celebrities I really gave a shit about too, so it hurt to hear he had passed away. I didn't even know he was sick.
Yeah. Cancer? Is that what
That's what I
happened?
heard.
He's still relatively young too, 70.
70, yeah. You know.
Yeah, I saw Pee Wee's Big Adventure on the big screen at like this revival house used to do weekly big meetings or screenings, and Pee Wee's Big Adventure played, and I went and I watched it. It was seeing it on the big screen. You realize it was so ahead of its time.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like the humor was just not 80s humor, not what you'd expect from that era.
Yeah,
it was very contemporary. I loved that
kind of
style.
stands aside. Like I loved Pee Wee's Big Holiday, even the Netflix movie they did. I thought was great.
Yeah, it was fine. Yeah, he's still great.
But it's
Rock.
so sad.
Yeah.
It's so damn sad.
I had a bit of a complicated relationship because we shared a last name, me and Pee Wee Herman.
That's true.
I resented him at a certain point when he was busted in that theater. And I was like, why'd you do that? Now everybody keeps laughing at me. But then later, now, as me today, I'm like, good for you, dude. Go jerk off wherever you want.
Did you go through the same thing with Herman's Head?
I'm sure yes. Like it was all.
I don't know how many middle schoolers. I mean, I watched Herman's Head in middle school.
Herman's Head.
All right, well, so
Loved it.
never mind.
Herman's Head.
Do you think it was too highbrow? It was on Fox, right?
Yeah, it was.
So.
Yeah.
Well, I watched it, and so I feel like I'm very highbrow.
You think about wasn't
you're elevated.
Inside Out just Herman's Head?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of like, I mean, it appeals to all ages. The idea that you have all these personalities working your brain for you, and they don't always agree.
Definitely makes better sense as a movie.
Yeah.
After a couple episodes, the gimmick, and really they kind of left it behind a little bit. Remember, the further, the further in it got, the less and less you saw of the head people.
Yeah, the head people didn't matter so much anymore.
Yeah,
they're out of jobs.
and then they were like, "Let's just make this a regular old show."
They're on the bread line.
Okay, and also, like, I watched it when I was maybe 10 years old, so I'm sure a lot of it flew over my head. It's not like Fox is known for its like edgy comedy or anything like that.
They were at the time.
Yeah, Married with Children.
It was
super
not edgy. It was
edgy in the
lowbrow.
worst sense.
Yeah,
Edgy in terms of lowbrow.
Edgy as in mean, you know.
they marketed on being the network who would run deliberately offensive content. Like that was their gimmick for the longest time.
Yeah, and I love
Isn't
the
it crazy that The Simpsons, when it came on, how vile it was allegedly supposed to be, and
Yeah.
to protect the children from The Simpsons. But then when they had that Simpsons Family Guy crossover, The Simpsons is so fucking wholesome.
Yeah.
It was so weird seeing those two worlds collide.
Yeah,
It was because Bart said cowabunga.
Yeah,
And that was People couldn't take it.
Eat my shorts.
He said hell. Come on now.
Do you remember the T-shirt that said "Underachiever" and "Proud of it"?
Yeah.
Bart Simpson. That was banned at our school.
Yeah, you weren't supposed to wear Bart Simpson shirts.
No Bart Simpson shirts.
They kept trying that actually when I was a middle schooler at Coleraine, but it never stuck.
Yeah.
Like people just kept doing it anyway, and then they would stop. Like no one enforced it.
I love when Beavis and Butthead came along and everybody was like, "Oh, there's worse. There's worse."
Yeah,
What sweet summer children we were.
Yeah.
They banned. I only remember like the Big Johnson shit, stuff like that, getting banned.
Well, it was a little past your.
Yeah.
You're a few years younger.
Yeah.
Going back on the same topic, did everybody watch Pee-wee's Playhouse? Obviously,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
There is 100% a portion of an episode, just a little bit in an episode, where Reba the mail lady comes in, and she I think it was Esapatha Murkison played her.
Yeah.
And so anyway, she's sick, and Pee-wee was like, well, let me examine you, and he puts on a lab coat, and he has this little thing on his head, his little mirror thing, and he drops it, and he kind of like moves it and positions it like he's looking up her dress, then he goes and stands up.
Oh my.
That was a joke on a kid show.
There were so many things like that. There was also the Christmas special, which we did an episode on, I think, didn't we? Where it was Frankie and Annette were helping Pee-wee make decorations, and he was getting more and more irritated with them. And like it was just about something you don't normally would put in a kid's show, where someone's kind of rolling their eyes at somebody and like, "God damn, I hear you," you know, kind of thing. And then Big Top Pee-wee, where he's behind the old lady and he's trying to get a cheese sandwich, which is to me like one of the funniest sequences I think he's ever done. If you've never seen the scene.
How have I seen that movie 100 times and I do not remember
Next time you watch it, just pay attention to when he really wants a cheese sandwich and how he throws a fit and how he was not afraid to like make the character kind of unlikable sometimes.
Okay, well, at the same time, who was the Pee-wee movies marketed towards? Was it kids or like adults?
It was incidental.
Yeah, it was just sort of what it was.
Or was it like a Shrek thing where it can appeal to
It was a
everybody?
pre-marketing art form. Like I think he was the Groundlings and all there's really raunchy. Like you go back and if you go to the roots of Paul Rubens, you find stuff like Eating Raoul and that style of storytelling and very subversive stuff and almost sideshow adjacent, like freak show type of entertainment. And then they realized they could make a kids TV show. That was all a company made all the marketing decisions. It was really a great comedy character that was larger than life, and they just had to do something with him. So it became a kids show.
It was based on his stage show.
Yeah.
Though. So it was like a kids stage show, but like an edgy kids show.
Well, I think the original stage show might not have been a kids show. I think it was like
it was originally for adults.
Act.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it was a nightclub app, but it was set up like a kid's show.
Oh, yes.
Right?
It was like a
homage
or parody of a kid's show. Yeah, for sure.
Kind of like someone is been doing something similar to that now.
Avenue Q?
Is it maybe you? No. The one where it's the kid, it's the puppet show that's kind of like an HR Puff and stuff. It's this very bizarre.
Hug me, don't hug me, I'm scared.
Don't hug me, I'm scared.
Well, that's a lot scarier.
But I feel like the sentiment was the same, where it was using children's television as the medium for adult humor.
Wonder Chosen, that remember from MTV.
Oh God,
that was a really good show.
Yeah, but you can fool people.
I remember hooking up with somebody at a bar, and we went back to their place, and we were continuing to get really, really high, and he put on Wonder Chosen, and I was just like, I'm not high enough for this. We need to keep trying to get higher. That was just not my jam. I couldn't deal with it.
It's funny how different something like that hits depending on your mood.
Yeah, I was like, let me keep smoking. Maybe I'll enjoy it.
So besides getting this show ad-free at Patreon, you also get Topicana and Origins. Andy just did Origins from I've already forgotten what you said the movie was. Oh, it was Real Ghostbusters.
Yeah, Real Ghostbusters and the infamous Chain Letter.
Chain letter, yeah.
Chain letter. A chain letter.
Just know that chains are involved.
Oh my God.
We can do this.
And then Topicana, it'll be Andy's question. I don't know if do you know what you're asking yet?
Yeah,
okay. So no pressure there. But we're going to get into roulette. And we'll be right back. Go ahead, Andy.
Did Fozzie tell us where he can get the book?
Amazon.
Okay.
So yeah, it's all on Amazon. Search for Jason Fozzie Nelson. Thank you, Andy. That's actually a good point.
Yeah.
Search for Jason Fozzie Nelson, or look for Always by My Side.
Yeah.
There it is. I'm sorry, Amy. Did you had something to say too?
I don't know. How are y'all doing?
I think we established we're all alive and doing all right.
Freddie and I.
Go ahead. I don't want to, because I want to bring up Freddy's chicken sandwich incident.
Oh God.
Freddie and I, on a whim the other day, decided to go to the movie theater and watch a little film called Talk to Me that I had never heard of at all. Read the description, was like, all right, watched it, fucking loved it.
Yeah?
It's really good.
I've heard good things.
It's A24.
It's A24. It's elevated. No, it's great. It's gory. It's scary.
It's a throwback to like 90s horror. It's 90 minutes long.
God, 90 minutes, and that was
perfect.
the selling goddamn point. Because Freddie's like, we could go see Barbie, and I'm like, I can't sit that long.
It's a story you've seen told 1,000 times, only it's done with really great style.
Talk to me. I'm not saying it has to be seen in the theater. I mean, I think you could still enjoy it a lot, but like support it in the theater if you can, because then that makes people pay attention.
Also, A24 is one of the few companies doing right by the talent right now. So
I don't know. There's an argument against anybody doing any work right now,
Oh,
because
God.
if you're doing any work right now, then you're allowing blah blah blah.
Scab.
Yeah.
but I mean,
No, I think he means like they've always like paid their.
But
creative-
A24 has agreed to the
they're paying
demands.
the demands. Yeah.
and then that will revert back to whatever is signed when it is signed.
Yeah.
I didn't know that part.
Yeah.
Of it.
Yeah. So
Isn't
it's
that good?
complicated.
That sounds good.
It sounds good, but then again, the argument could be made that any work happening right now is allowing the studios to get what they want.
Because they're
the
going to have
Frogurt is also
because they're
cursed.
going to have product ready to go right as soon as the strike ends, and
Because there have been a lot of
it's going to benefit the studios.
interim agreements allowed, I'm learning all of this via Sarah Silverman.
Yes, I watched the same video.
Yeah, I'm watching her stuff, so that's kind of where I'm getting information.
It's so
wish I
hard
could
to
get
Will Wheaton made a great post about
about
what it means and what it's
Yeah.
about.
and people are showing their
Will Wheaton.
he's hardcore.
their residual checks that are amount to like 3 cents each.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, they
that's
make them for
sad.
$0
Yeah.
even. I don't understand why.
Negative.
And one guy said like it costs more to print and send out the check than the actual check, what the check is worth.
Yeah.
It's crazy out there. I just miss I miss John Oliver. I really miss the Sunny podcast. I miss things. It's hurting me.
So, but with all the other options we have, you the one things they take away from you, that's what you really want. Because think about how much stuff we have available.
No, I
to
get
us.
that, but I think that daily shows that are on current events like late night and stuff like that and Saturday Night Live, I think those are important to the TV landscape. God damn it,
They're important
I
to
miss
culture
them.
too. That's the thing that I think is so sad is you have all these corporate, I know it sounds like a broken record at this point with all this, the corporate motherfuckers who it's all about the bottom line, but also you're doing damage to our culture. It's one of the hardest times I think for the citizens of this country, and something like Saturday Night Live once a week, whether it was a good episode or not, it was still one of those American cultural
Little
things.
cultural
and it's on hold,
catharsis.
Touchstone.
Yeah. They don't value. It's funny. It's so the pay difference is crazy from one end of Hollywood to the other one. But the truth of the matter is, it's like all other industries where there's just a handful of people at the top making most of the money.
Well, yeah, and they literally don't care about culture or the quality of the programming or any of that.
Yeah.
Even a little tiny bit. They really don't even care about viewership anymore.
Yeah. Most creators are like you and me, or even not even making what you and I make. You know what I mean? It's creative people. There's that presumption, I think, that's being erased. I don't think the next generation is going to think that just because someone works on films or television that they are somehow better off financially. I think that's being dispelled.
I'm seeing people's residuals is dispelling that.
Yeah. I hope it is, because those people are in the public eye so much. It's kind of nice that maybe the humanization of artists might be around the bend.
But you got those people that is it's Hollywood. Why should we support them?
That's what I'm talking
Those
about.
are dum-dums.
Yeah.
Those people, those are the ones who
they don't count.
They don't get that it is work and it's somebody's livelihood.
But
They think it's play.
It's the same reason why they support all these CEOs are making billions of dollars. They literally don't care.
Well, they can't wrap their head around the idea. They think that the guy who is good at strong arming people in board meetings is of more value than the person who can paint a giant backdrop matte painting for a movie. That person for some reason deserves so much more than the person who's making,
because that guy makes money.
Right, yeah.
Well, they see it as like their thing.
Capitalism.
That
guy creates jobs,
and they like figured a way out to beat the system and get this money. Like, no, everybody just chooses their job and get paid. Somebody just chose a job that where you get paid more.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's so much luck and connections and everything else involved. I feel like we went down a weird rabbit hole and my brain can't handle it.
Things are sneaking up on us because nobody can promote anything, right? So, like, what's this Talk to Me movie? Who knows if I would have seen more promotion for that?
I only knew about Talk to Me because it was on our Discord server.
And then,
it's not like they had like big stars anyway to promote.
Well, Miranda Otto, she's sort of a known person. I don't know. Twisted Metal, like Freddie just happened to see an ad for it, and we watched it, and it's great. But like, you would have seen Anthony Mackie out there. It wasn't even an ad. You would have.
It was, I literally opened Peacock for something else.
Oh, and it was right there.
And it was on their front page. So I was like, what in the hell? Because I loved the old PlayStation game. And I was like, how do they make a show out of this? And they turned it into a comedy, which I think was the right choice.
Mm-hmm. It's great.
It's pretty funny. Nev Campbell's really good in it.
Nice. I might have to check that out.
Yeah. It's not what you think. Like at first you're kind of like, I don't know if they're selling it. Again, they're not promoting anything, but I would think they probably would have advertised it as like a Mad Max thing, when really it's more of a the Tick, is what it reminds me of. Yeah, like a more violent Tick.
What are you waving at?
Oh, people are just dropping in and out.
Same.
Yeah,
you're dropping in and out. Okay. I think we've covered all the topics of the day. Because the people need to have a place to talk about the current events.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, boys and girls. It's time for straight to video Russian roulette.
Run, rabbit, run.
Yeah.
Are you playing the trailer?
No, we're not.
He's like, why are we doing that?
Yeah, it was an experiment.
Oh, sorry, I was.
Yeah, you're right.
No, I took an opportunity to take a big swig of water. Hope you guys didn't hear that.
Do it. Like, put the microphone right on your throat as you swallow it.
That's what she said.
All this new stuff on the show. I'm not.
Well,
ready
I'm being overly cautious with. You never even know, like, since we're gonna have ads running on this, if audio from a trailer might complicate things. So I'm not gonna run them anymore.
Okay. My name is Amy, and today I'm here to discuss a movie called Run, Rabbit, Run.
I will.
I was like in my head looking at it and reading the description, like, mothers have divorced mom, her child's being weird, it's getting spooky. And I'm like, I already feel like this is going to be a bit of a slog. And it kind of was. I'm not, like, Sarah Snook, she can do no wrong in my book. And like,
Sarah Snook does no wrong in your book?
In my book. Yeah.
She has a very specific Schnook book.
Oh,
Snook book. While we were watching it,
or in a Snook.
I said, has anybody ever called her Snooky? Just for fun. It was funny at the time. She's amazing. The little girl who plays her daughter's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
They're really the only two characters that you really spend much time with. And it looked great. But it's just like oppressive.
Yeah.
What's the plot?
Plot is Sarah Snook is an obstetrician. She has been divorced and she's got a little girl. Recently her dad died. And so she has all of her dad's belongings, in the garage. And the little girl starts acting weird and asking for Joan, which is Sarah Snook's mom. And they don't have a good relationship. They're estranged. Mm-hmm. And the little girl starts talking about Joan, not calling her grandma Joan, just say Joan, and starts behaving strangely and knowing things she shouldn't know because she's a tiny child and has never met this woman.
Like quantum physics.
visit.
Had she found the rabbit already at that point?
She found a little rabbit on their doorstep one day.
Mm-hmm.
It was an albino.
A live rabbit?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And I was like, okay, great. So let's give this little girl a pet, and we're going to kill it later, and we're going to make a big symbol or anything. Don't worry, nothing happens to the rabbit.
Oh, good.
The rabbit remains the symbol it is. I don't remember what it was symbolizing.
I had a theory
Hoppin'?
the first act, and I was or the third act. Sorry, I actually figured this movie out the first act, but then I got excited that maybe it was not that in the third act. Yeah.
But it was what
but
you
it
thought
was
it was
that,
like,
yeah.
So you find out, okay, so, the little girl's acting weird. She brings her to the mom. Mom's got dementia. So, like there's a lot of complicating issues.
Joan has dementia?
Joan
Okay.
has dementia. Joan.
That would have been a better title.
It would have been a better title.
Dementia.
Joan.
Joan has dementia.
Dementia. So the little girl starts saying, I'm Alice. And then you find out later that Alice was Sarah Snook's missing younger sister.
Oh.
Oh, Jesus.
Right?
Missing kid.
Missing kid.
First similarity with Orphan.
And then, that there's a lot of it's a rough time on Miss Sarah Snook. She's a single mom. Her ex-husband's got a new wife and she's pregnant.
Oh.
And she's gorgeous and young. And he's like told her stuff about, Sarah Snook's past, so she's trying to like empathize and relate with her, and I would be like, bitch, back off. Not your place. And then her little girl's acting real fucked up. So like she's getting a little like crazy.
Is she like doing violent things or just saying things that are weird?
Just being very stressed out, and her emotions are all over the place. Anyway, I mean it just kind of, should I spoil it?
I think honestly,
I think it's fine enough
I
not
think
to spoil.
You do? Okay.
It was boring to me, but there's stuff to like.
Do you feel like, here's the thing.
Does it matter to spoil? It doesn't matter.
I feel like the ending is the most interesting part when you think it's going, like, it's hard for me to not have that conversation. So do you want to just say, does anybody in the room care about a spoiler on this?
I'm never going to watch this
Not
movie.
me.
So if a listener cares, just go ahead like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll take that long, but like, go ahead.
So it turns out that Sarah Snook, when she was younger, had killed her little sister.
Oh.
Purposely?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Well, first
right?
she hit her with a bear trap.
That's right.
In the head, and then the little girl.
Did it clamp down on her head?
No, she just smacked
good.
her with it because they were fighting.
Yeah.
And the little sister ran from her to this bluff outside their property, and she pushed her over the edge.
She wasn't bluffing.
And
She was not.
the things that were happening with her daughter, like the daughter was manifesting the wounds, like her nose would start bleeding and her head would start bleeding, and it was the injuries she gave her sister that killed her.
It was very.
So it was a possession movie?
It was very
Essentially.
Stir of Echoes. Kind of.
And it felt in the beginning. At first, I was like, "Oh, I bet she killed her little sister, and she wants revenge." And then, like, I was like, "Oh!" Then I got excited. I was like, "Oh, there were these subtle allusions to Alice in Wonderland," and I was like, I hope the little sister is Alice from Alice in Wonderland. I was hoping.
That was quite a leap you were hoping for.
Could you imagine the end of the movie if Sarah Snook crossed over into fucking Wonderland? If you dealt with, this is an Australian horror movie that feels Irish. It's draped in that same sense of dread, like dark.
I mean, did they allude to Alice in Wonderland?
There's a white rabbit.
The white rabbit, Alice.
There's a rabbit hole, and there is the sister's name is Alice. So I thought, I was like, in the movie so dreary that had it hit you at the end with a Wonderland imagery thing where they did, it would have been like the fucking Wizard of Oz black and white to color shift. And I thought that would be amazing. And you only need one shot of her going in and you're like, boom. And then
that would have just changed your whole life.
I would have loved that as the ending, but that's not what happened.
No.
So Alice in Wonderland dreamed that she killed her sister?
No. The little sister is Alice from Alice. The reason she's missing is she went to Wonderland. That was my hope.
Oh, that would be cool. Okay.
I didn't express that very well. If you had seen the movie, what I said would have probably made more sense.
I'll tell you though, her wardrobe, whoever was giving Sarah Snook costumes, about 50% of it was not great, but the other 50%, I want it.
Okay.
Ooh, what was it like? Tell me.
She just,
Was it comfy?
Well, it was a lot of solid colors, a lot of breathable fabrics, like kind of just comfortable but nice.
Oh, like rich comfort, not like pajama bottoms that you go to Target with.
Martha Stewart comfort.
Like elevated comfort.
Yes.
Elevated comfort.
Love that.
So in the end, I can't recommend it because I just
too heavy.
Why would anybody want to watch this? I don't understand people.
But like, there are heavy movies I really like Babadook. That's super heavy.
But that's because it's also interesting and good and entertaining. This was not entertaining.
Yeah.
This movie, Run Rabbit Run, the brothers who directed it worked on Babadook. One was the casual electrician, whatever that means. And then there was the other one that did something technical.
I
too.
was going to say this
I'll
sounds a little
figure
Babadookish.
You can tell they learned a lot on that set.
Yeah.
Babadookie.
What was the deal about the kid asking for Joan? Why was the sister?
Oh, Joan was the mom, so the sister wanted to go see her mom again, I guess.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
got it. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well.
Why was she calling her Joan though?
That
Yeah,
part's
it's weird,
a little
right?
weird.
It's weird. I don't know.
Because she could hit her head real bad.
Yeah.
She got pushed off a cliff.
She forgot.
Brain's all
Maybe she
smushed.
didn't want her mom. She wanted Joan in HR.
Ah,
I'm filing a
everybody
complaint against this sister.
Everybody loves Joan in HR. So there you go. Run, Rabbit, Run. Sorry.
Good job.
But Sarah Snook, man,
Spoiled.
she's like Toni Collette, like just fucking flawless, man.
She's awesome. It's worth, if you want to just see Sarah Snook act, it's actually worth it. Because, I mean, I'm a super fan. I watch her in anything. But,
She's beautiful.
yeah.
She is.
I like her. I don't know if I like her enough to watch a non-recommend just to see her act. But
Yeah,
okay.
don't do that. Just watch Predestination. Was that what it was called?
Yeah.
I just like how much she can do with a look, like a Babadook.
Yeah.
Sarah Snook gives a look.
All right. Well, thank you. The movie for next week is from Shayna. She gave me this one. Was it Shayna? Yeah, right? Yes. Right? Anyway, if I'm wrong, sorry. It's on Tubi. It's called Bury the Bride. Bride-to-be June's bachelorette party turns deadly when her bloodthirsty fiancé and his friends show up to crash the party.
I thought the bride's name was Barry.
Bury the Bride.
I'm Barry, and I'm the bride.
It's B-A-R-R-Y.
It's a
the
switcheroo
bride.
movie. It's a
Starring Scout Taylor Compton as the
She's
bride.
a person.
And
Yeah.
Chaz Bono as somebody called Puppy.
Nice.
Oh, interesting.
Those are the only two names.
well. So far, Tubi's been pretty on.
Tubi's been killing it.
Tubi's been
Yeah.
on.
Let's see who's going to watch this. There she goes. There goes the wheel. There goes the wheel.
The baby wheel?
It's a baby
It's
wheel.
a baby wheel. Andy, I think I'm reading you right. It's
Yep.
backwards for me.
It's Andy.
You see Barry.
Good job.
You excited to watch Bury the Bride?
Bury the bride.
Bury.
Bury.
Bird to bird. Bird to bird. All right. We'll be right back with the main attraction as soon as, that happens.
Turn out lights, it's the main attraction.
Toying around with that.
Might be a little too long.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I had the same exact thought.
Yeah.
Feel
Listeners-
like a couple bars need to come off the beginning of that little bumper there.
I've been dying for Freddie to make me a new main attraction bumper.
And that's
So if
the
you have
first
any feedback-
attempt. Yeah.
Email him at freddie@notlp.com.
Or if you make one that's much better, send it to me.
It's good. I like the sang in part.
Yeah. So the main attraction is almost brand spanking new to me. Orphan First Kill.
Me too. I've never seen Orphan second or third kill.
Me either.
That blows my mind.
I
can't
hadn't
believe
seen
you
it,
guys missed
yeah.
this.
But Kelley, did you know about the twist at the end?
I did.
Okay.
I've already had Orphan spoiled for me multiple times.
Sure.
And I wasn't interested in it at all. I was like, eh. And I wasn't super excited about this. I will say, but man, was I pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
Esther's a little badass.
This
I
fucking
love
rocks
her.
my world. I loved all of it. I love the twist. I love the goofy, dopey dad that's our one sympathetic
I love
character.
him too. I want to
You
love
go in
him.
here and paint, honey. Okay. Oh, okay. This is his insane rich wife. Just like, you go paint. Okay, you're a good boy.
Yeah.
So Fozzie, why'd you pick Orphan First Kill?
Well, Amy told me that the topic was monkey dilfs. So I was like, I picked a movie that had a dilf who kind of looked like a monkey.
Good choice.
Yeah. Thank you.
Turned out.
I'll swing in his trees.
Yeah, but really, it was she said the term monkey's paw, and I just thought like wishing for something, and then like you're getting more than you hope for, and this movie just popped into my head. It's perfect because they want. I mean, I think they both technically want their daughter back. One knows they can't.
Right.
We spoil this.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think they both regret that their daughter is gone, but it has impacted him a lot worse, and he finally gets it back, and then all hell breaks loose, and his world falls apart.
Yeah, this smacked of the Joan Benet Ramsey case a lot to me when we get to the whole wrap up of this. But
that twist happens like less than halfway through the movie.
Yeah.
Like the first third.
That's not even a third act. Yeah, that's
I
not
love
even a
that.
third act twist.
No, I like how they went in right away because there's no way that they could repeat the first movie because everybody knows a twist. So I think they lead into the fact that we know. It's like we know that they know we know.
I expected
as friends
them to go crazy.
Yeah, and I like the fact they did that. That
Me
they
too.
didn't like string us along where she's like still trying to be a kid.
Well, they kind of at first you do think it's just going to go that way. This is like, and I was still in it because she wasn't quite getting it right. That's what I loved about this. Like the Lena, who is our titular orphan, although she's not an orphan yet. Well, I don't know if she is or not. We don't know anything about her.
She's a grown ass lady.
But she's a grown up, and but she looks like a kid, kind of. And I like how no one questions that their 11-year-old daughter just walks around with a sexy choker on all the time.
See, okay,
just like
I'm gonna say right now and then, like I didn't care for this movie just because. Julie Stiles.
Right.
Sorry. And maybe it's not the fault of the movie. It's maybe because it's not what I wanted from it. I was telling everybody before the show that I wanted them to lean into it more, like be strangers with candy, where it's obviously not a child.
That's almost like Freddy's Alice in Wonderland.
And she has like this rough voice, like, "Hi, I'm Esther."
You guys both wanted cartoon movies.
I would have loved that, Andy, but I also really liked what they ended up doing. And I had never seen, Amy and I, like we were saying, never seen Orphan. We watched it.
We watched Orphan on Friday and then Orphan 2 on Sunday, and just had a nice buffer in the middle.
Yeah.
And I really liked the first Orphan.
Orphan, though, it was a little slow-ish. Like, I liked it. I liked it quite a bit. I had never seen it because it had been spoiled, so it was like, why? But now I had a reason why. Thought it was a little bit slow. I was like, please go batshit for number 2. And they like almost went batshit.
Yeah,
I feel like they kind of went batshit.
They went crazy, but not batshit.
Because like they make you think at first it is just going to be now the little girl is back with them. And now we all know, like you said, because we've ostensibly seen the first one, now the tension is us waiting to see what happens to this family who is raising this not a little girl. And so it's like, okay, I was still in that. Like, I was like, oh, let's see what clues they drop. And I love that she wasn't great at pretending to be.
Well, I think that's smart because she's still learning.
Better.
Yeah, totally.
She's still learning how to be a secret agent.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I love it. Like, it was like
help from the audience perspective. You're also like, she was 10 in the first movie, the actor, and it made sense that she would be a 10-year-old playing, what's passing for a much younger.
Like a 9-year-old.
Like
right?
a 9-year-old.
9 or 11 in the first one. I can't remember.
But then she brought all this gravity to it where you were kind of like, maybe she is an adult. Like, she makes faces that I only see adults make, and like movements only adults make.
In that first one, they made that 10-year-old girl like try to seduce one of the SARS guards.
Right. It was so gross.
Well, but at that point, we didn't know that she was an adult yet. So it made it super creepy.
Even worse. But still, the actor's still a child. And then...
Yeah. The actor had to get slutted up and put lipstick on and looked like she looked like she should be dancing in the back of a music video. But
then you have her now as an adult. She's more the age the character was supposed to be,
and she's taller. And I love how the angles they had to make. Make her seem super short.
It was like The Hobbit.
The cast wore platforms a lot. They wore like the thigh-high platform boots just to tower over her.
That's
in production.
Funny.
I pictured her on her knees, like Dorf, and then you replied to the group text message we had. You said Dorf. What was it? Dorf on
Esther on golf,
or Esther on golf. That's right.
Yeah. Or Dorf on Familisa.
Yeah.
I did clock. I thought, I was like, watch the brother already killed that, like, because like everybody, like,
you knew?
I called it, but I didn't know for sure. Like I was sort of speculating because I was already in it at this point. I was like, all right, I kind of like the tension they're building where I know that this little girl isn't really a little girl and we're gonna get to see her interact with these people. So I was already in it, and then just some of the things where Julia Stiles she wasn't acting like a mother who just got her daughter back.
Right.
The son wasn't acting like anybody.
Right.
They were just a little weird about it. So I was like, I bet that boy killed his sister. And I bet that's what happened. I was like, watch that be what happens. And then it fucking is. And I'm very good at this kind of thing. I just want to put that out there. But no, it was so great when fucking when Esther kills the cop. And you're like, oh, here we go. Here we go. The little girl shit is like, this is where it pops up. And then Julia Stiles walks in, pops him with a fucking gun. And you're like, what is happening? Are you protecting her? And then she sits down and calls her out. And then you do find out that the son killed a little girl. Mother's covering up for it. She's just kind of this cold, like, rich person. And like,
I love that scene too. I love when they cut back. Like, like, we have some talking to do, and then it cuts back to her, and like Julia Stiles is like, so let me get this straight.
You're a grown ass woman. Yeah,
it's the conversations that the people who saw the first movie were having. I love that it was kind of meta in that way that Julia Stiles was like the audience leaving the first movie.
Yes.
Yeah, it was fun.
Just how ridiculous it is to have a Russian dwarf in your house.
There's a dwarf in your house.
Proportional.
Run.
They're calling from inside the dwarf.
This was the phone call that if you call the Sarn Institute and talk to somebody about Esther, what you're going to hear essentially is murderous dwarf, run.
That is what happened. She called and they're like, the dwarf is in your house now? Like, run. It was so much like Aliens, like when the beeping and shit, or when a stranger calls.
They're all around us, man. I can't get the first one I love. Well, I appreciate the first movie a lot. I think it's a really good movie, but that is exactly the type of movie that just makes me anxious, so I don't rewatch it a lot. I get so anxious when there's like somebody turning their family against them and like lying about them and playing. It's just like the mom always. People think she's going crazy or an alcoholic. I hate those stories, but so that's why this one worked a lot better. I was like, all right, I'll give it a try. I'm not excited, but then when I saw it was a twist and the mom's like knows and they're gonna like cat and mouse each other and fuck with each other the whole movie, it's like, fuck yes.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And to keep
sequel shit.
What I love too is that like the husband is just this sweet artist.
He was a little too doofy for my taste.
But here's the thing.
I understand.
Shut up.
I understand. Like he wants to believe so bad that his daughter's back, so he's just gonna do whatever. But he's like, okay.
Well, what's great, but that's part of it because like they're set up that this woman is like from this really powerful old rich awful
they said
family.
The Mayflower.
Like a Succession kind of family.
She's like, we matter.
And the son is kind of he's kind of the Joffrey to her fucking Cersei. So they're awful, but the husband, like, for whatever reason, she's one of these people. It's like their marriage, I think, is probably like this thing for her it makes sense. He's an artist, but he probably comes from money or something. But she's like, this guy is really sweet, and we need to maintain this so that his little world doesn't fucking explode because I have all this other shit that I have to do to maintain this
my other evil doings.
World.
Yeah. Well, I got the feeling too that he was successful at one point. Like he has a name.
Yeah, he's a successful artist for sure. That's why they work. That's why she can be married to him.
And that's probably why they got together, because they were both successful in their respective fields. But since Esther left, he stopped working. Really, he didn't have the inspiration anymore. So she wanted him to be better, like to fuck her, to bring in money.
Exactly.
Well, I did like how
for a lot of reasons.
You got the impression that it was like a sexless marriage because he was suppressed, and as soon as his daughter came back,
well, she was in his MeUndies immediately.
Like he got Randy because let's fuck.
It's so stress was. It was when the stress was taken away, and she said, "I like that." Julia Stiles said that too. Like she was like, since you came back, she's like, you know what I'm saying? So this is working for both of us. Let's not fuck it up.
Well, I think she's also rubbing it in Esther's or Yelena's face because she knew she wants to bone her husband. Which I was like, is this girl's end game to be to try and seduce him as his daughter?
That's never gonna work, lady.
And it is kind of what she kind of did.
Yeah, that's always her plan.
But she's a psychopath, so you can't. She's not thick and straight.
Yeah.
The way they tie in the black light between the first movie and this movie is very cool.
Yeah. It kind of makes it touching, even though I recognize Esther as a monster.
Yes.
I did have a little bit of a Frankenstein's monsters empathy for her in this one.
Sure, because she has learned, we don't, even before she's in the Sarn Institute, this is a prequel, but we don't know what her whole life was that led her to be in the Sarn Institute. But you can see that Esther has learned that dirty old pedophiles are going to try to take advantage of her, and she can use that. So she really plays it up to dirty old men and the guys who want to molest her.
I also appreciate, for sure. I appreciate, though, they didn't overuse it, at least in this one. I haven't seen the first one, but I kept waiting for that to be like a thing that just continuously came up over and over again. I thought like the brother was going to try and fuck her, like when he found out that she was not really, a little girl. And
so you did get a creepy vibe from the brother too, then?
Well, I didn't. No, I didn't. I thought they were going to do that.
Oh, you didn't? It's not because of the brother, though.
No, I just thought, well, they're probably going to do this because
he was such a turd.
Yeah,
the creepy turd.
The creepy vibe I got from the brother was almost like a what's the one where you're in love with your mother?
Yeah, an Oedipal. That's what I said. He's like, it's like fucking Joffrey.
That's like, what I got more than anything. I don't think,
I had this, when she reveals, like, she's like, he was roughhousing with her, and he played a little too hard. Like, that's the thing that really, all those accusations against Jean Benet, the brother in that family.
Yeah.
And it felt to me like they were kind of hinting at it, this being like, a take on that family in a way, like where it's this upper class situation and it was just all about protecting the kid. So I just kind of painted in all these other things on that kid. The minute I started kind of feeling that way about him, like I immediately went to like the darkest places where I'm like, what did he do to that little girl, man?
Well, see, I saw him as he would definitely be someone who goes out purging. Like,
he's definitely a purger. That I got that.
This movie had purge vibes.
It did have some purge vibes. What a great catch! Yeah, that's a good call.
He played it well too. Yeah. Like, I hated him. I'm sure we were supposed to hate that character, but he fucking nailed it. That scene where he's threatening Esther. This is one of my favorite scenes in any movie. He's like, "I fucking own you," and she smacks him. He's like, "If you smack me one more time, she's not afraid."
Yeah, those are great.
Normally I would like just two characters going at each other with like barbs and physical violence. It was like I said, I was telling them before, like Death Becomes Her, like they were just going at each other, but it was in a fun way, and I liked those characters even though they were villains. I didn't like anybody in this movie, so I didn't have anybody to root for.
You just want a comedy, right? Like everything you're saying is like,
it's not the fall of the movie. It's like, it's not what I wanted.
If somebody farted, like that's not. I don't know if that's criticizing this movie. That's like you just didn't get the movie you wanted, right?
Yeah. In a way, but also, you pick out certain things when you don't like a movie.
Yeah,
and this could have easily solved by a DNA test right when they found Esther.
Well, that's actually what Alise said. Yeah. She was like, they don't, you would think that when something like this happens, the first thing they'd fucking do would be a DNA test.
And like Julia Stiles would have done everything she could saying, "That's not my daughter. That's not my daughter." And
I think she wanted her to be her.
She said that too. She wanted
you keep my husband happy
because it was convenient.
I mean, it wasn't.
It meant as long as she was alive, there was nothing they could do to her son. So like she didn't want DNA. That's why that didn't happen.
Right.
Is like if anything, I could have seen them putting a scene in where she's where the mother would somehow sabotage a DNA test. Like I can't, because it's against her interest. If this isn't their daughter, that there's still a chance they'll find the body, you know?
Right. And if it is their daughter, see, and the thing is, so if she can make this work at least for a little bit, then it'll clear them.
Yeah.
Let the girl die a second time, which is again what the plan becomes, is to make it look like she kills herself. So for them, that it's good that this happened in a way. If she can make it work, that's like Julia Stiles' whole crazy stressed out plan is like, if I can make this work, this will make everybody think that this is really her. So it will get the fucking shit off of Sword Boy, and then we'll kill her.
Yeah.
And it won't matter. And then it made it even better for her when it turns out that it wasn't a little girl at all.
Yeah, it's pretty well structured in that respect.
Yeah, well, this was reminiscent too of that documentary about that kid that
Imposter?
calls from like
The Curious Case of Natalia Grace. Oh,
well, there's both.
Well, yeah, and then there's Natalia Grace as well.
Yeah. But like, there's the one I was thinking of was the one about I think he was Russian actually. Was he Russian?
French.
Or Estonian?
It was French.
The imposter.
Yeah.
Yeah, the imposter. But like, you think about that case, he didn't look like their son. He had an accent. His eye color was different. No tattoos, and they were all still like, "My boy." So it's just
didn't they
people want to believe?
Didn't they also? Weren't they also suspected of some foul play at some point?
Well, that detective thought that they killed somebody. He was very sure of it, but
because so it kind of almost sounds like that could even be part of that
Based
too.
on-
Like, because it could be that like maybe they're like made that connection. They're like, what if they did kill their son, and when this imposter showed up, it was their way out of the situation was to act, play along. But Amy was talking about that Curious Case of Natalia Grace. If you haven't seen that, that's the little person who was adopted, and I think like watch it, but like the show is structured in kind of a spectacular and sensationalistic
way.
But it does
happen before. Did that case happen before Orphan?
Yes.
Orphan based on that case.
Orphan is based on that case.
Is it?
Okay.
Yeah,
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
I don't know what's true.
Wait,
but
did the times match up though? Because Orphan came out in 2009.
yeah, I have no idea.
It doesn't matter.
But I heard people refer to it as the case they based Orphan on, so I don't know if it's true or not.
It is a cuckoo bananas true crime documentary. I highly recommend.
And I'm sorry, it's called. I need to watch it. Obviously, The Curious
Case of Natalia Grace. We watch it on Hulu. So
Hulu.
put it in your face.
put it in your
That
face.
sounds great.
You make sure you
Take it to the
finish
place.
If
Watch it at your place.
If you start it, if you're listening to this and you haven't seen it and you don't know the truth about that story,
Now you do.
if you don't finish, well, no, because it's
Now
more.
you don't.
It's way more complicated than the movie, and it could be maybe they were marketing as the real Orphan story and not that it inspired
if
the
I
Orphan
know.
story because it's similar, but I don't know.
So it's
weird.
even twistier than Orphan.
It's twistier than Orphan. But if you don't finish it, at least look up the facts of the case because it's kind of irresponsibly told. Because if you just watch the first episode of it, you're going to come away with a very wrong impression of what the situation was.
Okay.
Kind of what they're doing that on purpose. They're like
But
front loading
it's
it this
really-
way, and they're like, and now here's
Yeah.
what else you need to know.
Yeah, it's kind of
like S-Town.
Yeah, it's cruel if you don't. You know what I mean? Like the end result in the real world would be kind of cruel on the people involved if you just watched the first one and didn't really look up exactly what really happened.
Gotcha.
Or at least
so watch
finish
the whole
it.
documentary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
watch
you'll
the
want
whole
to.
last thing.
They're very good at ending on a cliffhanger.
I love that.
How many were there? 4?
4, maybe 5. I can't remember. Back to Orphan first kill.
Yeah.
And what are the odds that of all the families that Ezra chooses, they're also murderous?
Yeah.
Well, no, they chose her. Like, she didn't choose them.
She found
somebody.
Yeah, she found them.
She was on the internet.
right.
Yeah, and then she's like, "Oh, I look like that person."
I look
And
like her,
then
she's missing.
Yeah, and then she pretended to be the lost daughter. But what are the odds?
What I actually also,
Crazier things.
and
Get a lottery
I'm
ticket,
just
Esther.
kind of now thinking about this, but I feel like other people also didn't necessarily think that was her, like the psychologist. And there was another allusion to where like Lena didn't exactly look like Esther either. So it was like another thing with this being her first time out. Like I actually appreciate it showing that she wasn't like this mastermind, even though they made her out to be one. Like, she started off very clumsy. Didn't like, if this family hadn't been murderers immediately, like that I like that that's actually built in. I think if you think about it later, it's like, well, if they weren't murderers, this would not have gone so smoothly. It's like they like let this happen because she's like, oh, this is the situation. We can make this work.
It does. It makes it more believable.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the detective onto her right away.
Yeah, onto her right away.
Trusted her.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole time. I love that. That's a great scene too. After she like stabs him or hits him on the head or whatever she does.
Yeah.
And he's like, "How did you, like something about my mother?" And the detective says, "Like your mother knows too." And Lena's like, "Well, how does?" And then just the gunshots in the detective.
Yeah.
And you turn around, the mom's there.
Don't you wish that one of the Big Mama's House movies had done something like that? You know what I mean? Like when they
never seen
you never seen
Mama's House.
Well, everybody just falls for Martin Lawrence dressed up as Big Mama. And I would love in the sequel.
Is he trying to fool people?
Yeah, he's like an undercover.
Well, that's what Andy wanted.
Yeah.
But
oh, that's the movie you should watch.
Andy, have you never seen Big Mama's House?
No, I remember we went to Hong Kong and it was playing on the movie they were playing.
Yeah.
And everybody was sleeping, but my mom is like engrossed in it. She's like sitting on the armchair trying to watch it.
It's so cute. Was she laughing uproariously?
Yeah.
Did she think it was really funny?
It's Mrs.
She thought it was real.
Mrs. Doubtfire, but with the cops.
Yeah. No, like I said, like my problem with the movie was like I just didn't like anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
In Orphan, First Kill, not Big Mama's House.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot to like in Big Mama's House.
The detective.
I can watch it. I mean, I liked the dad. I can watch it.
I did too.
As long as I have somebody to hang on, one character to hang on to. And I thought that Esther and that lady with the face, what's her name?
Julia Stiles.
Julia Stiles, yeah. She does have a big face, doesn't she? Anyway, I thought that
she does.
I thought that they were engaging enough. They were fun.
I agree too. I think so too. I like that. I like their chemistry. They're bouncing off each other. It becomes like a monster fight. It's like Kong versus Godzilla. You pick one, and but nobody's picking Julia Stiles because they made her the worst of the two. Mm-hmm. But in her way,
I've always said that one of my favorite genres is like regular people in over their heads with stuff like that.
Very bad things.
Movie, the Lie. Yeah, those kind of things. And like Julie Stiles, nobody was cut out for this. Like you're saying, Esther wasn't totally prepared. She didn't know what she was doing. Like, what's your end game, Esther?
Right.
Are
like,
you gonna?
You're not gonna grow.
Yeah.
They're gonna notice that.
And Julia Stiles, what a shitty plan too. Having a psychopath
you didn't
stay
think
in your
about
house. She didn't think that one through.
I kind of like that Esther doesn't have a plan. She's just gonna ride it out until
she kills somebody and goes on to the next
She's gonna kill families left and right.
Yeah.
Like
she's a survivor.
She eyes those Fabergé eggs. She's like, I'll steal those on the way out. She's scouting it out from the second she gets there.
She's a little criminal.
Her bedroom bathroom ensuite was so nice too. That little step down and the big grand entrance. God, with the tub.
Well,
I love that bathroom.
That crazy evil billionaire house was like, holy shit.
Yeah, but there comes a point. Yeah, there comes a point where houses are too big for me to like.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah, that was a
little too ostentatious.
Was Julia Stiles in the Omen remake?
Yeah.
And she also is a similar kind of vibe to the character and like the house and everything to me. It was that same level of waspy, wealthy, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just interesting.
Waspy, wealthy woman. That's my favorite Eagles song.
Yeah, I look for house porn in movies, and this definitely had it in spades. This was an amazing house. But I agree, Andy, you could scale back a little bit. Like, I prefer the house from Hereditary.
Yeah.
You know why I liked it, though?
House.
I liked this house because for me, it pushed even more like, oh, these people, again, except for the dopey artist dad, these are like evil rich people. Like these are people who have like taken advantage of people the whole time, like from this outset, and they've built this monstrosity of a house in Connecticut, like the size of it, and then seeing the whole thing burn at the end was, I thought it was very cool. This movie was way better than I expected it to be.
And you've noticed she works for a nonprofit. She's like the CEO of a nonprofit. But it's like, I think it's one that she formed. Like, that's what you do when you have Melfi.
Homeless, not toothless.
And the husband is always talking about like, oh, these people donate money and you're doing such good, and he seems very proud of her.
Yeah,
but like, not connecting. Like, wait, why are we billionaires if we're running this nonprofit? He thinks she's doing really good work, but it's probably just a tax shelter. For
yeah.
And it's also image too.
They're like the birds from Ozark.
She just likes doing like fundraisers and dressing up in ball gowns.
Yeah, exactly. That's what she was always focused on, but he kept talking about the money that they were going to make for their nonprofit.
See,
so
again,
he was a genuinely nice guy.
And he was a nice guy, and he's got killed in the end. So the only nice character in the whole movie gets an awful ending.
I mean, we kind of expected that.
Yeah, I did, but like I know because it's a prequel and you know what's going to happen.
You know everybody has to die.
But still, like the only likable character, you just let him burn.
I really like the skillful way that Julia Stiles stashed her brains out on the pavement that day.
Yeah.
That was a neat effect. Like, she just hit the curb and it was like pop, and there goes her brains.
Yeah. It was good punctuation. It was a very like,
it was artful.
Yeah.
Well, also it could have just been done to be but they did it like
agreed.
Like the score, everything was just like a moment and she's done, and they didn't draw it out.
Wasn't a focus on it. It was from the distance, but you saw that head explode.
Yeah.
That was and I also liked when Esther, when she's Lena or whatever in Russia, that woman that she invades her house, she comes back around and that woman turns out to still be alive and she's gasping for breath. And Lena's just like, oh, it usually only takes one. And then she beat the shit out of her face. And we saw it. There wasn't a cutaway. I mean, it didn't show the graphic. It wasn't really graphic about it. We saw it from behind, but damn, that was brutal.
Yeah.
This movie didn't shy away from anything brutal. I liked it.
Yeah, it was good shit.
Love this movie. Yeah.
I'm glad that you brought Orphan into my life.
I am too. I would have never watched it.
And honestly, part of this was like, I'm here to promote my book, always by my side, available on Amazon and Kindle. There's like a weird, creepy little girl in my book too. So like, creepy little girls are ruling my life right now. So I'm really into creepy little girls right now.
So is a musical of Orphan next?
Oh, I would love that.
Little Orphan Esther.
Would you like to see another one of these movies? Would you want them to keep going?
Can I tell you that?
Well,
like,
they can't because
well, here's the thing about
she did.
that.
Not Esther.
Well, in the original movie, she didn't.
Or no, she is dead in the original.
Sorry, Kelley.
I don't know how to prequel.
You're right. I forgot she died at the end.
She's
dead.
The first one. But here's the thing, right? You've got a 26-year-old woman playing a 10-year-old, and you're using Lord of the Rings style forced perspective to sell it. You've crossed the line, and it's okay to do things that are completely out of reality now. So, like, it reminded me of Burial Ground, where they had that 40-some-year-old man play that little boy, that old Italian movie.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, where it's really, like, hilarious, you know, and, like, and it has elevated it to something I want to watch over and over again, you know?
I'll watch 100 more Orphan movies. I don't care if they dwarf her or
I'll watch another Orphan movie.
Yeah. Orphan versus Leprechaun.
Yeah, when I saw the trailers for this, I was like, "This looks so stupid. That is obviously a grown woman." And I was like, pushing my glasses up. But then when I finally gave in and watched the movie, and I loved it, I was like, "I don't fucking care. They can tape some shoes to her knees and go for it." I want to see another.
As long as someone wants to believe she's a child, it works.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not about people being gullible. It's about the immediate people who give a fuck about it. Not being, buying into it.
Yeah.
However,
I did think this was. More. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
How dare you?
No, I just said I'll watch more. I love these. What were you just going to say?
Oh, I was going to say I did. I thought it was going to be so cheap when the titles popped up, because it was like the Orphan First Kill title. It looked like it was made by someone who doesn't really know how to make titles, and they just picked the first spooky font they find. And it was like, it just popped up. I was like, oh, this is already like off to a bad start. This is going to be real cheap. And then it wasn't.
The Massacre font. Yeah. I see that in a lot of places and a lot of horror stuff. I mean, we've used it for stuff before, but when I've seen it like in legit movies, and it cracks me up every time where I'm like, that looks like shit.
Yeah, it looked bad.
But I like that blacklight effect. I thought that was that's great. It's creepy.
It's a callback to the first movie that they put in this.
Yeah, and it gave it emotional depth too, because
she learned it and brought it with her.
It was like the part of her that was good, even though the way she's using it in the original movie it's kind of a creepy thing, but the things she's drawing are colored by this horrible life she's had anyway. So she's still kind of the thing is, I still find her kind of a sympathetic character, even when it's all said and done, all the horrible shit she did.
Stabbed and beat to death that poor art therapist.
I know.
Yeah, I thought that was to me, it was just a little mean.
Oh, definitely. She's fucked up.
And that kind of, maybe that took me out of it right away because, again, like the nice characters get these horrific endings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice guys get beaten first.
I was shocked too, because the performance that the art therapist was giving in that first part made me think she was going to be a major character, and the way they framed her arrival. Yeah, it wasn't like just it felt like this was going to be from her perspective for a while.
Oh, it did. Yeah, the very opening part. Yeah,
Like
that was really great misdirection.
like
when
a
they
screen
killed
thing
her.
they did with her.
Yeah, it felt like or like Psycho even.
Yeah.
That switcheroo, and it's not even that she was a huge star. It was that they just put the scene together so well that they played into what you expect. Like, follow this person into the building. Oh, it's her. She's just started this job, and she's still getting to know everybody. And you're like, oh, we're in for the journey. She's probably gonna be who we see the orphan through. Yeah,
in a circle.
Yeah, you're like, she's gonna be the plucky one who figures out what's wrong with Esther. No,
it's
she's
like
gonna
a sitcom, and it opens with her bursting through double doors, and it's like, making it the best I can. Yeah.
And then a hammer to her skull.
Yeah,
basically.
Fucking crowbar to the face.
How do I reach these kids?
Yeah, if there's another orphan, I need bigger, bloodier, crazier, more bananasy.
More bananas.
I love this as a series. I want more. I think it's the second one I was super hesitant about, ended up loving it. So yeah, keep going. See what else you can do.
Mighty Orphan Power Rangers.
Job choosing Mighty Orphan. Power Rangers.
Mighty Orphan Power Rangers.
And I have something to tell you guys.
What?
I'm not who you think I am.
Oh no! Oh, I forgot. In the real story of the Natalia Grace story, it was because she had a big bush that they said they figured out that she was an adult.
Not that she had a big bush. She had pubic hair.
Regardless, there's a moment in Orphan.
They didn't show it, did they?
Was it Orphan First Kill where you hear the shower running, and I thought they were going there. I thought she's gonna see Esther's bush and figure this out.
You thought it was gonna be like Demi Moore in the 70s?
Why are you admitting this?
Why am I admitting what? That I thought the movie was gonna use that as a plot device. Think about everything else this movie did, and then tell me that's too much.
It makes sense.
It makes sense that she would see her in the shower and be like, "Oh, that's not a kid."
Yeah.
See, I would have liked that. It was like that scene in Scary Movie where he pulls her pants down and just like poof, like bursts in his face, and he needs like a yard trimmer to do it.
She's like, "It's a little." I can't remember what she said. It's a little hairy down there.
No, it's like, it's been a while.
It's been a while. Yeah. She's so great.
All right. Well, we did it.
Yeah.
Sure did.
We did do it.
We ended, I think, on a very high note. This lovely month's theme. Thank you, Fozzie, for joining us.
Great choice.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This was a lot of fun. I missed you guys. I love you.
Oh, miss you too. Love you.
At the end of every show, we always say hi to our Beelzebubs.
We do.
And you go to patreon.com/TLP. I'm doing it, guys. It's happening. As a patron, not just Beelzebub, but as a patron, you can come hang out with us on our Discord, and then hang out with us on our weekly meetups, which is where Fozzie and I hang out every week.
On the Discord.
And we hang there.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm going to say hi to our Beelzebubs. Are you guys ready?
I'm prepared.
Sure.
Elise.
I can't wait to see you in a few minutes.
Alyssa.
Miss you. Your hair's fabulous.
She's got fabulous hair. Branan and Emily. Jeffel. Iona Goodwin.
Oh, a great one.
There it is.
She's from Run Rabbit Run country.
Sorry, I hated on your country's movie. Dr. Brian.
Hey, he finally got to the Discord. By the way, if anyone's a patron and they're ever confused about how to use the Discord or any of the extra stuff you get, you can always email me, freddy.morris@me.com or whatever. Find me on social media and ask.
And it turns out we are all confused by the Discord.
Yeah.
That meetup this week was a real shit show at first.
Yeah,
We're learning.
Not unlike trying to get FaceTime to work today.
I know.
It's because we're old now.
But we're getting used to it. It's funny because we did the double change all at once. It was too much change for middle-aged people to handle.
Need some change management.
Don't ever change, Bill.
Oh, Bill Bitchboat.
Bill Bitchboat. Bill Farner.
What up?
He doesn't have a nickname.
He doesn't have a nickname. We'll work on it. Frosted Blakes. Blayne Yogurt. Jordache Jeans.
I want to do like a foreigner play on Farner, but I can't.
Oh my God, you're still there.
Yeah.
We're like 4 names past that.
Yeah.
Paul.
I can't come up. It's a hard nickname to come up with.
Jeremy, Cassie, and Gamora.
Oh, Gamora! They have my book. There's a picture of my book and Kelly's cover in front of Gamora. She looks so pretty.
I love when you say
girl.
Jeremy, Cassie, and Gamora. Sometimes I imagine a chimera made of the 3 of them. It's pretty cool.
Ernie.
I painted on the side of a van.
Dave
You don't have
Siebert.
to say everything that's on your mind.
No, I mean, I've pictured it hundreds of times. It's just the first time I brought it up, so I have suppressed it.
Could you paint the Chimera on a Camaro?
You could put it on a Camaro,
Monica.
a Monica.
I apologize for what I just did.
And Dustin.
Hey, Dustin, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, before we leave,
We're gonna be billionaires, Dustin.
Fozzie, do you want to drop your socials so we can know where people can find you?
Oh yeah, I am on X at Fozzie Bear.
How dare you?
The update came through on my phone, and I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it, you guys.
Just get out of there.
I should. I'm just gonna go. So find me on Threads at Fozzie Bear, and on Instagram is.
But
the same
you
as
you
well.
spell Bear B-A-R-E, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
Like
yeah,
a bare little
follow me.
buns.
Like a naked Muppet.
Yeah, exactly. But once again, you can find my book always by my side by searching Jason Fozzie Nelson on Amazon, and it's available in paperback and Kindle as well. So you can get it either way, however you want to read
Get
it.
it both ways.
If you sell enough of them, will you buy us a Camaro with a Camera on it?
All right, bye, everybody.
Promising right now.
All right.
bye,
Thanks so
Andy.
much.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks.
Love you guys. Bye.
Love you. Bye.